another series that's going on in the Eastern Conference as the Miami Heat are up one game against the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. Looking at that game and knowing that Miami took their first lead in the fourth quarter and Boston, basically had that game in their possession through the first three quarters.
Third quarter.
They took the lead in the third quarter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they?
42-19 third quarter.
My bad.
Yeah, it was,
what was it, Tunde?
I want to say 42-19 Miami.
Yeah, they started the quarter, I think, on a 22-2 run, like over the first 6 minutes or so. That was right out of the half.
Well, that's my bad, guys. They took the lead in the third quarter. I've been on the Boston Celtics train for like the last two series. I like the way that they play.
Pick the Bucks in 5, though.
No, I kind of but honestly though, I did pick the Bucks, but I've always seen something in Boston. I didn't pick them, but I thought that Giannis would be the difference makers in that series. And that's why I ultimately ended up picking Milwaukee to represent the East in the conference, because I thought at the end of the day, Giannis will be able to trump everything that Boston does. Obviously, I was proven wrong. But
yeah, me too.
Even as the calendar turned in New Year, Boston, they were the best team in that final stretch going into the playoffs. So I knew that they were highly capable of getting to this point. Having said all that, I'm going with Miami, baby. I am picking Miami to win this series in 7 games.
Did that change after last night? Or do you just feel more secure?
Y'all tell me about Jimmy Butler.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, the last time
piece gotcha.
Y'all tell me about Jimmy. The thing is, I've seen this Jimmy Butler in the playoffs. I didn't know it would translate. Granted, I haven't really been watching Miami a lot. I started watching them in the playoffs, and you pay attention to them, but it's kind of like, as Miami, not really a believer, and I don't think any of us was an actual firm believer that this team could potentially win it, like legitimately win it all. I know me and Chaz wasn't.
I would still be surprised if they won it all. Honestly,
I don't think that.
But I appreciate how good they are.
But Tunde, you were one that kind of picked them. Tunde, you were like, okay, there was one of the teams that could potentially win it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they didn't get the 1 seed by accident. It's a phenomenal defensive roster. They've got tons of wings to throw at elite scorers and guys like that. They've got playmaking on the roster, and they've got rim protection. My only issue with them was really just like, can they score enough points in the half court? Jimmy Butler's made that a non-issue in this playoffs. I mean, the last time we talked, I said that if there was a playoff MVP award that we awarded, and at that point in the playoffs, we would give it to Jimmy Butler. Another take for which I was mocked. They called him a madman, but it's okay.
And he's only been better since then.
The only problem that I had is I didn't think Jimmy was a superstar, which he's proven that he's on the verge of entering. He's on the verge of entering that superstardom conversation, if not already there.
Oh, he's a superstar. He's a top 10 or 11 player.
My thing with that is that
I don't know.
I wasn't.
He shows up in the playoffs, but his regular season, it's rare that you see a person that average 21 points in a regular. It's very rare that you see them up their scoring average by 9 in the playoffs.
It's much, yeah. It's insane.
You don't ever see that much of a discrepancy between regular season and playoffs. I mean, he's upped his scoring by. That's insane. I've never seen that.
And I mean, you talked about how good he was in the 2020 playoffs. He's been, considerably better this postseason.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, when I said that the playoff MVP thing, I was more talking about like in this postseason, what has this player put on the court? And by that, I mean, Jimmy's been phenomenal. It's been 40-point games. It's been playmaking. It's been rebounding. It's been guarding it's been guarding up and down everybody's lineup.
Man,
he's doing everything. He's doing everything. He's superstar stuff. Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Miami at 7. I was teetering throughout the day with this pick. At one point in time, I had Boston in 6, but after just watching Miami and watching how they play, knowing Boston they're down some key pieces right now with a lot going on, but obviously I think they're going to get Smart back and eventually get Horford back into the fold. I think this is Miami time to win the East. Although they just won it, these two teams have met in the past. I think Miami wins this series in 7. If Jimmy Butler continues to play, he doesn't have to play at this level every night. He doesn't have to score 41 every night. But if he continues to play at a version of this level, I don't see how, even with the greatness of Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown and that great defensive team, I don't see how Boston beats this Miami Heat team. I'm going to go with Miami at 7.
Fair enough. I'm gonna stick with Boston here. I'm gonna go Boston in 7. I think we're gonna get a hell of a series. Think it's gonna be. I'm gonna revise that. I'm gonna go Boston in 6. But I think it's gonna be a hell of a series either way.
Down 0-1 too.
You said what?
I said already down 0-1. That's gonna be kind of tough.
Let's see it. I'll go Boston in 6. Think we're getting two great teams who are very similar. I think there's a decent chance that we get a game or two in this series where the score is like 92-87 or something like that, because these defenses are great. With that being said, I don't know if you guys play baseball or if you see baseball, but you know how you put the little you have the little donut that you put on the bat that makes the bat heavy when you're doing warm-up swings before you get to the plate so that the bat feels lighter when you're there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what this series is going to be like for Boston as far as scoring on the interior and Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum attacking the basket when going from dealing with like Brook Lopez and Giannis Antetokounmpo at the rim to dealing with like Bam Adebayo and whoever else Miami wants to put there. Or have kind of in that situation. And that's where I think the difference in the series is going to end up being. I think Boston is going to be able to put more pressure on the rim. And we see that Boston's got tons of shooters on the roster. By virtue of them being able to put pressure on the rim, I think they'll be able to break Miami's defense just enough that it'll be fine. Because, I mean, Miami is a team that wants to switch a lot of actions. And part of beating the switches is just by having better guys. And I think Boston has better guys.
Jess?
Yeah, I'm taking the Celtics in 7. I don't feel great about it, especially with, Smart and Horford sidelines. I think that's something that has a huge impact. Tatum really started to struggle in that third quarter. And both of those guys are somebody that would, in that moment, have the ball in their hands, maybe making those decisions. And a 22-2 run probably doesn't happen. Whether they win that game 1 or not is another story. But having two starters out is a big factor going forward. So I don't know. I feel like they need at least one of those guys back next game. And it sounds like Smart is probably going to be ready, but who knows? Horford, it's another story, which is his third time in protocols this season. So that's not something that's great, especially at this time of the season, obviously. But, with it going 7, I think this is a series that can go either way. But I'm gonna go with the Celtics in 7. I feel
third
like
time of the season is wild. I'm sorry.
Al
Horford might have the constitution of a Victorian child. That shit is crazy.
I don't know what's going on with that.
Jackson ass immune system.
For real.
Yeah,
and I think Brian Windhorst was the one that said it, was that they had multiple people in their party test positive. So I don't know if that's going to be somebody else test positive in the next few days, or if that was just, solely Al Horford. But it's definitely not something that you want to be happening at the start of the Eastern Conference Finals.